give you my heart.
Okay. Hi, good morning, Glenda.
Good morning, ma'am.
How did you find our place? Is it difficult for you?
No, it was just easy. We have now Google Map to locate the location easily.
Okay. Do you know that the position of your trying to apply for is librarian?
Yes.
Okay. I have already come through to your CV, so I don't need to ask from that anymore. What I have to ask from you now is some questions about regarding your job before.
Sure, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay.
So are you relaxed or shall we start now?
I'm confident enough and I'm ready.
Okay, that's good. So, the first question, can you tell me about the past, the previous job where you are dealing with customers in need and you need to give them satisfaction?
Well, I was working in the sales, selling perfumes and other beauty products, and I was trying to get their attention by calling them. Hi, ma'am. Good afternoon. I have new scent here. Would you like to try? So I have this kind of welcoming, and I'm greeting them. So they come and listen to me, and I have this perfume bottle with me and tried to spray in a tissue and let them try, and it was new product, so they like it. It was new to them, so they bought it, and after a week they come to buy again because they like the product. I think they're satisfied.
So, it has a good outcome
Yes.
with that approach, and you said that
Greeting to them, and
they come back after a week. Wow, that's a good experience. Now, the second question is all about. Can you tell me about the time or a conflict where you were involved in the past with your co-worker? Tell me about the situation. How did you handle it? And what was your next approach? And what was the outcome?
it was I think
So, do you need me to ask the question again? Okay. Can you tell about a situation where you were involved in a conflict with your co-worker in the school or wherever was that?
For me, the word conflict is actually, I think it's a challenge because there are times that certain colleague will not agree with you.
Okay.
So it is a challenge for me to try to convince them and be side with me, to bring them to side me, and in that case, but I had to prove them that it was not really a problem. It was making sure that it is telling them the situation is not really a big problem. We can easily tackle it in
So,
a good manner.
Again, just tell me about a specific situation. I want the specific one. Because you are telling the general idea, but I want the specific. Okay, it's okay. I will help you.
Okay. I think one of there are things that we have to comply in, like we have to put the display in a school. So then we have different ideas. So in that way, like they wanted me to pick up their ideas, and although that my ideas was good and most presentable during that season, so I had to let them think and let them try to accept my ideas by giving them what is the season all about, and the function, and how why it is more better to use my idea.
Okay, that's good. So the outcome was.
Yeah, okay. At least
Was good?
they accept it because I have all the reason.
Okay, thank you. Okay, the next question. Tell me about the past or time in the past where you have encountered trouble with customer in meeting their needs.
Okay. A certain order, like it was not the day that they supposed to receive all of them. It came only half. So my supplier was not able to comply the book, but then I tried to convince them that it was not easy and due to some circumstances, but I promised them that as soon as they will provide us the product, instead of coming to collect the product, I have to send it to their home or to their office. So avoiding them to have a travel expense again coming to my place.
Oh, so did you mean that both of you are happy with that?
Well, they agree with it and they're happy because it came the next day. So it was not really big problem.
Okay, thank you. Okay, the next, describe a situation in the past where you need to deal with the supplier about the markup of goods and you need to ask more discounts from them. First, tell me about the situation and how did you convince the supplier and how did the supplier respond to you?
Well, in this country, we're dealing with currency, unstable of currency value. So there are times that it will be up, or there are times it will be down. But a certain time that my supplier asked a certain amount, increasing the price of the product. So what I have to ask from them that if they will keep the product the same price, I'll be coming to them all the time. I will not be going any other supplier. So I promise them that I will be dealing with them all the time. I won't be sending my quotation to other supplier anymore. So I think they agree with that. So they're happy with.
Okay, thank you. Now, next question. Tell me a time when you were a successful leader in an organization.
Okay, it was in my first teaching job, because I have a background of group. So I was able to bring the group to win the champion during that year, because I was having this background. The organization or the group were being trained well, and I was, due to my connection with other people whom I know, to train my students for the event. I was able to get them, and well, they won the prize.
Oh, that's good. Very good experience for you, Miss Glenda. Okay, next question was tell me about a time in the past that you were able to trace a root of a problem that always happened. First, tell me about the problem or the situation. Then how did you see the cause of the problem, and how did you deal with it, and what was the result?
Well, there was a situation few years back that certain information coming out from the HR department was being talked inside the staff room, and it was not good, because it is personal information from certain staff. So I tried to ask the HR department why this information went out. Well, it should be kept in HR office. So then the HR manager did call everyone, saying, and then we then realized that the people who bring out those information was from the people who's working part-timely in the office. So from that time on, they were not putting anyone part-timely in the office, because some private information would come out, and it's not good. It is supposedly kept in a vault.
Okay, that was a good job for you. You have done that. Okay, the next question. Tell me about the time in the past that you have a lot of workloads to do, where you need to accomplish everything on time. First question, what was the situation? How did you deal with it, and what was the result?
Okay, just few months ago, I was having this the primary level book were sent up to the library, and putting it under my supervision. So it was like 10,000 books. It was not barcoded. It is not in the system. So I have to deal with it. So people would able to take those books out in a good manner, and without, to avoid loss, I have to do barcode and put them into the system, catalog them as well. So then I give certain time, and well, I have to ask help. I cannot do it alone. I have to ask help from the line managers. So line managers had sent me some help. So a certain time it was done, and it was like the next term they were able to sign out the book in smooth manner.
So that's great.
So, it was good.
Okay, thank you for that. Okay, next question. Tell me about the time in the past that where you are confronted with a very difficult problem, and you need to come up with a quick decision. First question, tell me the situation and how did you deal with it?
There was a time that there was an issue about pork.
Okay.
I was talking it like in the staff room with my colleagues that we shouldn't have this pork in front of us, and we should not be having this smelled by the in the corridor, because you know it's not really nice to smell it. So then I spoke to the head of Arabic. It was not my intention to not to shame the people, but then the Arabic head had sent a blanket of email, so it was not really my intention. So I went back to the person. I said it was not my I didn't do that, and I know that they're pointing that I am the one who, because it was discussed in the staff room. But then I told that, well, it was not me who brought up the issue. But then we realized that, or they realized that there are certain thing in this country that we should, you know, be respectful to each other, because we're different nationalities, different religion. We have to respect. So, but from that time, they tried to well, give respect. When they are bringing pork, they are not showing, they are not hitting it in front of us. So it was okay. It turned to be, well, instead of conflict, it was okay. It was been tackled well.
Oh, that's a nice experience with you. Solving a certain problem quickly. Okay, next question. Tell me about the time in the past that you need to comprehend a certain article which was given to you to interpret.
Okay, I have certain student. He was local student actually. He's Arabic. So he was laughing, holding that book, and I was like, really having this in my mind. What is in that book that he kept on laughing, and he was trying to show it to his friends? So then I called him and said, okay, what are you laughing? Because of course I am the librarian. I should know my book. It should be acceptable to every single user in the library. And I'm afraid, and I was afraid that it might not be a good book. I should take it out from the shelves. But then when I saw it, I read it, it was the word gay. That boy was giving the meaning in literal way. So I tried to explain to him that that word means happy and gay. It's not literal that a man turning to a woman. So then he was like, he learned from me, and then I was, knowing that there are certain students that you have to try to, expound their word vocabularies, giving them such,
Good job for you.
Thank you.
So that boy was being enlightened.
Yes.
By your good
explanation.
Yes. Thank you. Next question. Tell me about the time in the past where your close friend asked you an advice. Ask an advice from you. What was the situation? How did you deal with it? And what did you feel about the result?
okay, actually it happens to me. A certain friend tried to tell me that, you know, in this, at that time she was pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, you know that it's not allowed in this country to be pregnant and to be in and pregnant out of wedlock. So what happened, I said, don't tell anyone. You can just fly, go home. You have to resign. So to avoid any problem. And it's better to not to, you know, to tell everybody that you're having this. As much as possible, you have to keep it if you want to have a, you know, better, you know, not in a big trouble. So then it was actually that advice was, she accepted it, and indeed she left the company. She went home and delivered the baby, and you know, because she didn't have the problem with the company, she was able to come back in the company. After 6 months, she was accepted again, because she didn't say anything. She was just like resigning and then going back to the country and coming back. It was not, she was not in big trouble because of that.
That was a good advice from you.
I hope so.
to a friend. Okay, thank you. Next question. Tell me about the time in the past when a certain problem happened in the workplace and you need to learn from it that it couldn't be happen again. What was the problem? What you learned from it, and how did you apply the learning in another situation?
Earlier I mentioned about the HR information that came out and was, you know, being gossip inside that staff room. After that incident, I tried to isolate myself in, you know, in gossiping people. So each time, like, and I try to avoid digging information. It's better not to know anything and the information not coming from me. So I just avoided some, you know, gossip. And it is good choice to be out of trouble.
That's good. Okay, thank you. Next question. Tell me about a time in the past that you need to share how to use a certain product or machine to a person who doesn't know how to use it.
Well, it was not a machine. It was the Microsoft Office. In the school, you need to know how to use this Microsoft Office, Publisher, PowerPoint, etc. So one of my colleagues is like a bit older, so and I try to help her, but it is not good that each time she needs certain thing, she has just to come to me. So what I did, I tried to teach her the Microsoft Office, everything, and everything she can do on it. So after that, she learned, and she was not coming to me anymore. And I heard that she's an expert now. So I think it was good giving this information to her and sharing, and then she could teach other also.
Okay, thank you. That's a good job, Miss Glenda. Okay, next question. Tell me about the time in the past that you manage successfully an organization?
Well, I was able to manage the library from the scratch, handling 3-year-old till year 12, 13 in the same place, and it was good. I mean, people ask me, how did I do that? Well, I did it. I think it is just the way how you apply your skills in dealing with different year groups. So
Okay.
I was able to handle primary, foundation stage, and secondary in the same place without any trouble for period 6 years.
So you mentioned that you manage a 3-year-old
Yes.
groups.
Yes.
Can kindly just elaborate how it is? Just like describing it.
So when you're dealing with, in the library, we offer storytelling. So weekly they come to me, well, per class. They've got one session and I have to read them stories. At the same time, after that, they have to sign out books. So this is routine every week. So from foundation stage, 3-year-old till year 12. So this is like a routine in the library. It's weekly. I have to meet around 1,300 students every
So
week.
who made that idea? It is coming from your side or from the organization?
Well, the curriculum itself, the British curriculum, and well, we offer, this library is one of our product. To have the routine in the library is one that we can offer to the parents. So we have to show them how to use the library properly from foundation stage until year 12.
Good job.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next question. Tell me a time in the past that you need to finish a volume of orders from the customer.
Mhm. Well, when you're alone, you cannot finish in a certain time. I've done this in many kind of job, like dealing with books, new books, old books, salvaging books. We have to just give it to certain people. You have to assign it, so you will be having enough to deal with other things. So you have to give disseminate it.
Okay. So that's good.
You need support, so you'll give tasks to them.
Okay, thank you. Okay, next question. Tell me about the time in the past when you have done the job efficiently in a certain time frame.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about the situation and how you did it efficiently.
Well, as I mentioned, I think
Okay.
it is disseminating certain people to help you out with a certain time. You cannot be in one place and doing so many things. So you can dovetail, but then you still need support. Like one could do this lighting, some, like in the library. I'm just describing the library. In the library, sometimes you have to allocate this job to others for you to function for the other thing.
Okay, thank you. Next, two last question. Describe a certain situation that you need to work in with a multitasking ability. Or do you believe in the multitasking ability?
I'm always multitask.
So how did you do it and what was the result?
Being alone in the library, you have some students getting books, some students who are occupying your ICT, and sometimes you have to check out some books. So you have to be, your senses should be present in different corners. So I think I'm fond of multitasking while doing cataloging. I am checkouting the books and then checking out books, and while I am also looking after the children who are using my ICT.
Oh, that's
So you have to be in every corner. You cannot just stay in one place. You have to work different
good.
corners.
Good job. Okay, last question. Tell me about the time in the past that you need to do many tasks assignment for the day, but of different priorities. So how you deal with it, and what was the result?
Okay. First, I have to see which one is most important and least important. And then the least important could be deal with someone.
Yes.
My support. I have support. Sometimes I haven't. So if I need certain to be done in that day, I could ask for support. So that support would work in the least important, where like checking out books or checking in books, and while I could attend the meeting, for example. So we're not closing the library. While I'm not there, there is the routine is still there. The checking out, checking in the library. So it will work smoothly.
Okay, thank you. That's good job for you, Linda. And thank you. How was it? How was it being interviewed?
It was really, I'm shaking, but I'm confident enough.
Okay. After this, we will look up. We'll try to rate you, and after that, we will call you for the result.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
And hope to see you again.
Thank